Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to podcast number 48 of the Locks of the Day podcast. Today it's just me and Zach. We're gonna rip through some MLB, a little MLS, and then we're gonna hit you with some PGA locks for this week. I got a little top 20 for you, but we're gonna kick things off and just go right into MLB here. I'll rip the three-star, little three-unit play. Will be the New York Yankees minus 1.5. It's a minus 140. They're playing the Reds. Looking for them not to get swept here. With Max Fried on the bump for the Yanks. He's been a great pickup this year so far. He's 9-2 with a 2.05 ERA, which is third best in the league. He's extremely hard to hit off and very hard to score runs off. In his 16 starts this year, there's only been 3 games where the team that he's facing has had more than 3 runs scored on him. His last outing was against the O's. They put up 3 on him off 7 hits. Then the Dodgers late last month, they put up 6 off 8 hits. And then his third game was actually, or the third game that he let up more than 3 runs was actually his first start of the season. And that was against the Brewers. And he let up 6 runs off 7 hits in 4 2/3 innings. So honestly, it's like, can't really count that first game there because it's like his first start as a Yankees. Like, there's some nerves there playing in front of your home crowd and everything. So that's a tough game to really judge. But honestly, 2 games only letting up three or more runs is pretty good. And with the lefty shoving, I've noticed the Reds are not the greatest team when it comes to facing lefties. Most of the Reds lineup is batting between 150 and 220 against lefties, with 2 exemptions. You got Tyler Stevenson, he's batting 275, but he's only had 30 at bats against lefties. He's been hurt for beginning of the season, like all of April he was out. And then there's Santiago Espinal, who's actually the guy that can hit lefties. He's batting like 285, but when you only have 1 or 2 guys in the lineup that can hit a lefty, I mean, that's like you're gonna get a hit maybe 10%, 20% of the time. So, and when it's Max Fried on the mound, I'll take him all day. So lock in the Yankees, minus 1.5, minus 140 against the Reds, and Zach will lock in with a 2-star.
Yeah, so we have a Rangers money line at a minus 155 as our 2-star. And with that tonight, we have Jacob deGrom on the mound for the Rangers, who's 7-2 with a 2.2 ERA, going up against Braden Young for the Orioles, who's 0-1 with a 6.23. So Braden Young, they're trying to kind of turn this guy into a starter. He's only pitched twice, but he's gone about 4 innings, just over a little bit of 4 innings. So pretty much you're getting a bullpen day from the Orioles. And with this Orioles team, they have an earned run average of a 4.86. So they're nearing almost 5 runs average per game, where the Rangers are right around 3.2. And I think what I like most about it is that when Rangers face teams on bullpen days, their hitting hasn't been great this year, but they do hit around 260, which is well above the league average for that. And I like that mark. I also think I like that first game of the series they came out, they got shut out 6-0. They put up 6 last night in an extra innings game. And these 2 teams also play again to start next week. So you're going to see these guys go at it again. But I think in that series, you're going to see the Rangers draw some of Baltimore's better pitching in that series. So they're kind of getting away with it in this one. But I do think that I like that they got guys like Josh Smith, who's been carrying the load offensively up top, and a guy like Wyatt Langford is starting to kind of piece it together now with 13 home runs. But the Rangers here, I mean, mainly what we're looking at is DeGrom shutting down this Orioles lineup and doing just enough to get them the win tonight. So we're going Rangers money line minus 155 for the 2-star.
Perfect. You want to rip your MLS picks and then we'll do a PJ last?
We sure can. So
Sure.
yeah, 3-star for tonight for MLS picks. We have New York Red Bull money line plus 110 or plus 115, depending on the book. Right now, it's a little bit different. Fanatics has plus 115. ESPN is plus 110. So whatever you guys find it at, feel free. Take it as you will. But yeah, and this one, we have a struggling Toronto team going up against a red hot New York team. New York's 1-4-5. Toronto has 1 win in their last 5. It's 3 losses, a win, and a draw. but they have just been on a struggle bus all year. They're 3-4-10 with just for a total of 13 points. And New York is starting to find it. They're 8-3-7. They're climbing up the Eastern Conference standings, and they've pulled off some good wins. Besides taking a loss to Austin their last time out, pretty much on an own goal, as they just couldn't find the back of the net. They've gotten wins over Atlanta. Got a barely good win over Charlotte. They were able to beat DC United. They beat Dallas in the U.S. Open Cup as well, and they recently beat LA, who is the worst team in the league, but they did beat them 7-0. So these guys have been on a run. They're scoring goals left and right, and they're doing it as well defensively too. They've really limited their numbers defensively, only letting up 21 goals this year, but a lot of these were let up at the beginning of the year. As for Toronto, 18 goals forward, 24 against. They've really just kind of struggled to score in general. They're barely averaging a goal a game. So I really like what New York has here. New York doesn't play fast paced. And what people will understand too is with these international tournaments going on, some of these teams are losing some of their players, and Toronto is down a few guys due to international duty. So with New York being a favorite on the road, most of the times when you get these kind of games where these guys are favorited, I love to go with the away side because they're favorited for a reason. But Toronto has struggled. They do have Federico Bernardeschi if he is active tonight. Other than that, there ain't much going on. Insigne as well, but those two guys can't carry the entire team. One of those guys is probably going to be gone by the time the trade deadline or the transfer window passes for the MLS. So, but anyways, I think New York is the team here tonight. I think this is good value. You're still getting them at a very nice plus against a team that has struggled to win, struggled to put the ball in the back of the net. And I think New York is going to seize the opportunity in this one and put one up early. So it's going to be New York Red Bull, 3-star, plus 110 on the money line. And we'll jump into the 2-star, which is going to be Orlando City, plus 130 on the money line as they play host to Colorado. Sorry, St. Louis. They are playing in St. Louis tonight. Wrong game. Well, look at the wrong game. But similar situation. Orlando has started to play better. They've got 2 wins in their last 5 games, but they're playing a St. Louis team also who has 1 win in their last 5 with a draw. But Orlando's been rolling, 30 points on the year at 8-6-4. Then we got St. Louis 3-6-9. So they've only put up, in 18 games, 15 points. So they have struggled. They're at the bottom of the Western Conference, but similar situation. 18 games played, they've only scored 17 goals. They're averaging less than a goal a game, and they're facing an Orlando team that has scored 32 goals a game. Or 32 goals. Sorry, not 32 goals a game. My bad. A little bit early, fellas. Sorry. We're getting used to it here. A little bit early. The 32 total goals. St. Louis is giving up 26. So St. Louis is giving up well over a goal a game. Meanwhile, Orlando's averaging almost 2 goals a game. Orlando gives up about a little bit over 1 goal a game. But this Orlando team has been rolling and they've been scoring. They went into Inter Miami, beat them 3-0. They did just beat Colorado their last time out on the road. But when these guys are on, they're on and they score. And they score a lot. So I definitely see Orlando putting up another big game because this is another big opportunity for them to face a team that's not doing that well with the international window still going on. And it's another chance for them to jump up these Eastern Conference standings as they continue to roll. They're 5th right now. They've got New York on them. They've got, well, actually, both New York teams on them and Inter Miami. And Inter Miami is not going to give up. I don't know how much Inter Miami cares this year because they are in every single tournament in the world, it seems like. But, if a team like Orlando that hasn't been very successful these last few years, especially in the playoffs, these games are going to be important as they want to try and move up these standings. And this is a game tonight where they are facing a struggling St. Louis team that is in need of a win. And I think Orlando is just going to go in there and pump them. But we love Orlando here. I love Orlando here. They got Martin Ojeda. Look out for him tonight. That's going to be the name to watch. He might put in a couple, and that's the guy that I like. But yeah, other than that, Orlando plus 130 on the money line, 2-star. That's what we're rocking with.
Love it, love it, love it. Now we'll jump into some PGA locks. This week, PGA is heading to Detroit, Michigan, for the Rocket Classic. Previous winner Cam Davis. He's been struggling this year, but not really a long course here, 7370. So not too long for this for these type of guys. But this isn't really like your standard PGA Tour event. This is like a kind of a mix between tour players, like middle of the pack tour players, or guys fighting for uh FedEx Cup points, and then you got guys that are in the Corn Ferry. So it's a big mix of a lot of golfers this week. But I'll give you my top 20. It'll be Alex Smalley for a top 20 plus 250 on ESPN Bet. So far this year, he's made 11 of 17 cuts. He's got two top tens under his belt in 2025, but more recently in his last five tournaments, he's made the top 20 twice and has finished with an average score of minus 14, which would be ideal for this course in Detroit. Hasn't played this course since 2023, where he finished 47th place at minus 10. That year, he had a bad start, but bounced back and fired a 66 and a 69 on Friday and Saturday. But looking at his stats this year, he's been pretty sneaky, honestly, with a scoring average of 69.3, which is fourth best on tour. Like the only guys that are better than him are like Scotty and I think Rory's even. I think he's better than Rory this year. Rory's at like 69.8. Um, but he's a super consistent player that's gonna go out there and shoot under par like all 4 days. But he might not win the tournament, but you're gonna see some low numbers at this course. So he'll definitely be up there on the leaderboard come Sunday. So lock in Alex Smalley, top 20 plus 250. And Zach will give you his lock for little PGA.
Yes, we got another top 20 here. We got Matthew, or yeah, I guess you'd say Matthew, but Matt Fitzpatrick, plus 210 to place in the top 20. Love the odds. Matty is he's been in the tour for a long time, long time. I would say almost, we're nearing probably about 10 years or so. When I was a kid, he was in there and he was pretty much brand spanking new in the tour. And he's made a killing out of it. And I mean, this year he's been in 15 tournaments, made the cut 13 times, and he's placed inside the top 20 3 times. And he's also, I mean, he's like right. I mean, he is right there. Because some of these times when he's missing the top 20 cuts, he's getting 22nd, he's getting 25th, he's getting 27th. He is right there. And he shoots well. He's been shooting very well. He's been shooting very consistent this year, with the exception of a couple of hard courses. He's been doing really well. And in this case, in this course, as you mentioned to me yesterday, they got the Scottish Open coming up. I believe it's the Scottish Open coming up.
Gosh, and British
Or
Open.
maybe it's
The British.
yes, and the British Open. Thank you. Yes, but these guys are gonna be going, as Fitzpatrick is an Englishman. He's gonna be going back home, and like you said, he wants to prepare and get ready, as those courses are going to be a lot more difficult than what he is going to play in Detroit coming up this weekend. And it's going to be a big tune-up. And he's been hitting well. He's been playing really well. He just played in the Travelers this past weekend, where he did place top 20 as well. And I mean, he played in the U.S. Open the week before, top 38 or top 38, tied for 38. And then the Memorial was tied for 31st. And then the PGA tied for 8th. Truist Championship tied for 23rd. He's right there. My opinion, this guy is he's just due to just have another big weekend. He's just due, because he's like a stroke or two away from being right there. And especially putting, tied for 8th in the PGA Championship, he was right on it. And I think he's going to see one this week. Maddie's going to say, a little money grab for me. He's going to go out there, shoot a nice little 12, 15 under, lock it in, and we're going to see him at least in the top 20. So, I mean, that's pretty much what I got. My expertise may not be as good, but I like me some Matty Fitzpatrick this weekend.
I love this spot for Fitzpatrick just before the British Open. It's perfect time for him to heat up and go back home and show his home crowd what he's been doing this year. So I love that pick, especially at plus 210 for a golfer of that magnitude. Like the dude's won a U.S. Open before. It's like let's not shake the guy off. I mean, put him at a plus 210 for a top 20. That's crazy. Love that one.
Yeah. And seeing him in the last one, seeing him in the PGA Championship shoot, you know, or shoot, I think it was a -4, but he tied for eighth.
Yeah, exactly.
So, so seeing him be successful in those opens,
Mhm.
it's going to be a tune-up for when they end up getting there.
Absolutely. I love that. You got anything else to add?
I think that's about it. I mean, this is like off topic. You could throw this in the pod, doesn't matter. But I did see a thing yesterday for you FanDuel users out there. Be careful. There was you're looking at me. I think you might know this, but there's a guy that does like a joke instead of doing like OnlyFans, it's called Only Parlays, and
Oh,
he has a Twitter and like Discord chat, right? He put out a home run parlay a few days ago. It was a seven legger and it hit. It was $11 to win 100K. It was plus like 93,000. And FanDuel paid out the bets, but obviously this guy has a Discord. So a bunch of fucking people all took the same home run parlay. All those people woke up in the morning to new terms and conditions by FanDuel. FanDuel was fucking pissed. And they were like, well, if we think that you guys are colluding and in a Discord chat and we all see the same bet, we can void the bet. We don't have to pay you out. And
FanDuel's
they were
gummy,
pissed because
gummy.
yep, because they were pissed because they had to pay out 100K plus money because you have all the other people that took that home run parlay, even if it was only a couple bucks on it, you're paying at least $1,000 out to every person that hit it.
Yeah,
So they were livid.
that is
So
hilarious.
so if sometimes you guys think I kind of found it funny that the house always kind of seems to win sometimes, that's a
They
key line right there.
they always fuck.
But
They'll always
but
find
I always
a way
thought,
and change the rules and they'll fucking win. They're scums.
yeah, as as we build up, we won't have that issue. But I do find it funny though that they ended up doing that and that they were like, oh, we see a bunch of people took the same because of course it's like a seven leg parlay, so it's not your ordinary two, three legger. And
Yeah,
they were like, oh, everyone took the same one, and then it
yeah.
somehow hits.
They're taking like a plus like 20K over there. They're
Yep,
hitting like that's
yep,
crazy, dude. Like I
mm-hmm.
wish I had that kind of luck. My God.
Yep, I know. And this dude put it out to all his people too. I don't know how often he's been doing them this year. If he's
Uh,
just been throwing them out like, oh, home run parlay like of the day, and it finally hit.
I
But
try to do
insane.
it.
But
I
yeah, the
can't hit them.
guy's name's only parlays. You can check him out or don't because you have us, so don't do it, please. It's up to us, but a free plug for him if he somehow watches this. But yeah, I just thought that was funny because like I used to use FanDuel mainly. We're ESPN bet slash Fanatics guys here, so that's usually what we use. So, but FanDuel was my bread and butter when I first started, but I feel like people complain more and more about FanDuel, so it's just kind of funny that they ended up doing this. So,
Yeah, their lines are sometimes a little weird too. And then they always have little stipulation things that are just weird. So that's why I started on MGM and then I went to ESPN Bet and now Fanatics. This Fanatics is just Fanatics for MLB is crazy. In UFC, it's so good. Like certain
mhm.
sports, like certain books are better at. Like ESPN, I mean, the ESPN golf has got fucking great lines. Like great line
Yeah,
both sides too. You'll get a bigger plus and you'll get a smaller minus. It's like it's crazy. ESPN plus for or ESPN bet for betting is crazy for golf.
yeah.
Awesome. But are we all set here?
But yeah, that was pretty much it. Just wanted to share.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. Like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram. Follow us there. Stay tuned. You'll get all the updates on Instagram on our stories. Uh, but thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Peace.